Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session on the Oracle HCM. Today, we will look into an important concept called value set. So, we use value set multiple places. So, if you remember on the past formulas we many used, and in the descriptive flex field that we created the value set as well. So at multiple places, like here on the flex fields or EFF, KFF, everywhere, or as a drop down value, we make use of a value set so that a user would be able to select the value that is available inside the drop down list. Also, not just in the DFF, KFF, EFF flex fields, but also you can derive them in the fast formula, like I already mentioned, and in the approval rules. If you wanted approval rules like department, business unit, so any of this, if you wanted to be configured based on the value set, that also could be done on the approval rules as well in the report process as an input parameter. If you would wanted to pass it, that could also be done with the help of value set. But this is all done in the classic and UI pages. So we all have questions because the thing that is evolving in the Oracle HCM or Oracle ERP world is the Redwood. So in the Redwood also, are we going to use Redwood is nothing but a tool that is VBS. Using VBS, are we able to use the value set? There are chances that we could still get value set that is like if the value set is already being used in the responsive and classic UI, it is all configured. And now when you enable the Redwood, there are certain things that you have to do to fetch the value set. So since the reason being here, like in the VBS tool, we use a different metadata layer, whereas in the responsive and classic, it uses the default metadata, Oracle HCM metadata layer. But here it uses a different metadata layer, which uses the JavaScript and REST API. So if you want to call this value set, there is some extra effort that you have to do on the VBS pages, but it still can be called on the Redwood. So now with that, let's get started with the value set. So in the value set, we have multiple types like these: independent, dependent, table, subset, format only. So let's try to understand the different types of it. And once it is done, let's create one of the type. Majorly, we make use of independent value set or the table value set. So independent value set, it means like it is independent of any other fields. You just create one flex field or even if it is being called as formula, you just create one field or one value set and then you store the values and you call them through the fast formula or DFF anywhere that you are going to use a value set, you call that. So it's not going to get dependent on anyone. Whereas a dependent value set, uh, this dependent value set and the subset. So both are similar, very much similar, but what the major difference is both uses the independent value set. For both of this, we have to create the independent value set. So without independent, we cannot create dependent or subset. So in the dependent value set, based on this, it's like creating a context. Based on this context, the fields would generate. Like for example, we have a country field. So the country field is more, it acts more like an independent value set. And based on the country chosen, the state has to populate. So that would be a dependent. So here, while we are configuring itself in the dependent value set, we provide the parent value set. It acts as a child and it acts as a parent. So you provide the parent value, whatever the value set you have defined for independent, that you provide, and then create a dependent value set. And coming to table value set. So it's based on the SQL table. So it's how you work on the SQL. It's similar to that. So here in the table value set, when you create, you would be able to provide the SQL tables, where clauses, what needs to be fetched from a table, what is the from table where clauses, and then what column you would like to fetch, how do you want to order, everything could be defined there. And that could be fetched in the multiple places like DFF, past formulas. Subset. So the subset is also, like I mentioned, it also uses the independent value set. So the independent value set has to be created. But subset uses, let's say, if independent value set is stored with 100 values, but subset would require only 10 of them. So rather creating a new value set with only those 10 values, what we do is create a subset and derive the value from the independent value set. So it also has this parent-child relationship like what we have it for dependent, but there is how they actually function that varies a little bit. And format only, this is a very simplest form, like it says, right, only formatting is done. That is, you don't store any values here. You give end users the provision, end users, HRs, the provision to provide the values themselves. But you that's formatted or structured in a way that only a date format has to be given, number format, text format, or only the so many characters is limited. So only that has to be given. Let's say I give it in a number format and the number has to be limited for 3. So if they try to provide, it's a rich text format, but if they try to provide 2 or 4, then it throws an error saying that it is not in the right format. So that is why it is told to be a format only. You just create a normal field where end user would fill the value, or rather we or the system letting them choose the value. They would be able to write it themselves or type it themselves, but they have to do it in a certain format itself. So that was about the value sets. Now we go to the system. Let's go to value set. How do we navigate is we click on search under setup and maintenance global search. This is called to be a global search. Here I search for manage value set. And this is the place where we could create it. Or if you would want to search for the existing value set also, we will be able to search. We have to provide it here. The required fields has to be provided before we click on search. So certain things would be a blank search. You could go and click on search and to see the results. In certain pages, you have to provide certain, if this 2 asterisk mark says that one of the values has to be provided. So I'll just say independent. So these are the independent values that we have. Let's try to create one. So I'll say, so I have created one, like we will be loading that value set. So I'll use the same name. Okay. So we'll load this to see how the loading can be done if there are multiple data. So I can use it for a different module. I can use it for global HR absence. I have to select the key. This is the key we would be selecting, and the validation type we select it as independent. And then value data type, what do you want? What are you storing the data? Now I'm going to load the data for a character. So I could choose a character, number, date time, anything. Okay, if it has to be security enabled, then you have to check this box and provide the resources name. Now I'll select the subtype as text character, and then I'll say I'll limit it for so now my text is around 7 characters, I'll give it as 8. If you want the minimum value or the maximum value, like minimum character, maximum character, if it has to be uppercase only, if it has to be zero fill, this validation can be enabled. For now, I'll just click on save and close. Does it already exist? I will say 1. Yeah. Now I'll click on save and close. If I have to search for my value set. So if I have to add any values, I could do that here. Here, if I click on searches, no results would be there because I just created this value set now. If I have to create this, I could do it. You would be, let's say I'll give more characters. Management. Then I'll try to save it. It gives me an error saying that it has more characters and it is not valid. So I'll just say it and it's accepted. If I want, I can add the description also. If it has to be within the states, I can provide the dates as well. If I have to sort the order of the fields, like in the flex field, let's say, if it has to be what has to come at the beginning, what has to go at the bottom, everything could be sorted in this order. Now I'll click on save and close. Save and close again. What we'll do, I have already prepared a file here. So we will be loading that. So let's load this data. So in this data, what it requires, I mean, I have just given some test data. It is the value set. It should be a 5 delimited file. You have to store it again in the DAT format. Now, okay. So now while in this we have value set code, that is the value set name, and then what is the value of my value set? How many values I have loaded is 14. And then what is the description of this value? Enabled flag has to be 1. So if I wanted to disable that, I have to set it as N. Okay. So now I'll save this in a DAT format. It's already there. Now we'll go back to the system. I will navigate to Tools. I import and export. Here, I'll click on plus to choose the file. So using the file here, I'll select the account. So I'm just going to select the path where it has to be stored. So I'll select it as HCM data load import. I need to remember this so that I should select the same path while importing the value set as well. Now I'll click on save and close. So this has initiated. Wait for a couple of minutes for this process to complete. So if I click on upload again, I would be able to upload it. Okay. So if I have to see the status also, I would be able to see it in the process scheduler. Now I'll go to value set again. Now here under this, there is an import option. I have to give a file name. So values set values. I could provide any file name there. You click on upload. I most probably had already used this file name. Let's see if the upload would complete successfully. So this is what we got to do while we have to create a file. It should be okay. Let me create a I'll just create a separate name for it. Hey guys, we go back and take it once again. Yeah, choose. What? We just keep the So I have renamed that file. Right. Now that we have loaded this, it's going to manage value set. I will click on import. Load. The import has begun. If it is all in the right format based on the value set, then I will be able to load all the data. So let's open our value set. So I click on manage values and search. See all the loaders loaded. So this way, if any of this isn't in the right format, then that row will not be loaded. Okay, that was about the session on the value set, the importance of it, how it's going to be used in the Redwood in the days ahead, and how do we load that using the file import and export. So we'll meet again in another session. Until then, thank you.